Hey guys, it's Joe again. Hey, I wanted to talk to you guys today about some stuff that is pretty real. I want to make sure that everybody understands and has a clear understanding of why I do what I do. And I didn't grow up in a perfect family. Got into drugs real young. Kind of violent little kid. Loved to fight. Loved to stand up. I was hiding a lot of pain and suffering when I was a kid. And I know a lot of people battle with that, and there's not a lot of ways to get out of it. There's not a lot of things that we can do really to hide it other than drugs, alcohol, all that stuff. And I know a lot of that stuff is a cover up for what's going on in your life. And, I want to encourage you, there is a way out for me. It was a God thing. I actually had a local drug dealer pull a gun on me, and I didn't run. I went after him and freaked my girlfriend out, freaked my best friend out. Was in a pretty dark place in my life at that point in my teens, and I wasn't afraid of dying. And I went after this guy, and when he took off, my buddy was pretty traumatized by it, and my girlfriend at the time was still to this day traumatized by it, from what I understand. But it's just the way that I responded to something I shouldn't have. And it's just the way we respond to things in our lives on a daily basis can stick with you forever. And a lot of people that are making mistakes, they're making them because they're hurt and they're in pain and they're suffering and feeling rejection, whether it's from your parents, kids, brothers and sisters, just life in general. And I'd like to say that ends at some point, but it just seems like you go through phases in your life where things are tough, and you either learn to man up and deal with them the right way, or you deal with them the wrong way your whole life, and hopefully don't end up dead or in prison for killing somebody. So I want to encourage you today, just, if you're feeling down, find somebody that you like hanging out with, find something you like to do. Don't clear your head by going out and drinking and partying and doing stupid stuff and doing all the stuff that we do to cover up our pain, because what it's going to do is it's going to escalate it. And for me in my life, that was the deciding point. A week later was when I gave my life to the Lord, and I've been solid ever since. But I didn't believe in God as a kid. On the contrary, my stepmom was into some witchcraft and some pretty dark stuff. So I saw the darkness at a young age, but I never saw God. And when I reached out to God, he just never showed up for me. I really felt that in my life. And so when the Christian kids in my school would come up and want to talk to me about Jesus, I'd laugh at them. Some of them I'd beat them up. And then I'd laugh and ask them where their God was, And the reality is they understood what they believed in, and I didn't. And I couldn't find peace because I didn't know how. And so for me, what happened was, this whole drug dealing thing and trying to kill this guy and basically traumatizing everybody that I cared about at the time led to a bunch of incidents. And I met my now wife, but she was giving me a ride, started giving me a ride back and forth to the local skate park where I skated every night, and so I could pick up my girlfriend. And that changed my life, because she had a standard that I wasn't used to. She had a standard in her life that if I was going to be part of it, I had to change my standard. And she introduced me to God and took me to church, gave my life to the Lord. And I've spent basically the last 35 years going out on the streets, working with gangs, drug addicts, different cities all over the country, that, from LA and Orange County to Hawaii to now in Texas. And one of the things that God's really done in my life is shown me that you gotta love the sinner. You can hate the sin, but it's not the person. You can't hate the person, because they're going through stuff that you don't know about. they're going through things that you might not understand. Maybe you're not a drug addict. Maybe you've never been a drug addict. Maybe your parents never beat you or rejected you, or, maybe never been pistol whipped before. I mean, never had a gun pulled on you. And thank God you have it. But a lot of people don't understand how you can relate to that and be able to help people. And I would just encourage you, if you haven't been through those things, just be sensitive to it and understand that people go through stuff that you may or may not understand or know how to deal with. But everybody has a testimony, everybody has a story. And that's something that I've learned over the years. I'll go up to people just sitting on a wall and go, "Hey man, how you doing?" And we'll start talking, and I'm not there to preach. What I'm there to do is listen to them, because maybe they need somebody at that time. Maybe that kid's sitting on the street corner by himself, maybe he needs somebody at that time. So I'm not there to preach what I believe in and what worked for me. What I'm there to do is I'm there to love and care about somebody, because that's all it took for me. I needed somebody to show that they loved me and they cared about me and they were invested in me. And I've seen thousands and thousands of people change their lives over the last 30 years because of our ministry. And it's something to me that's a lifestyle now. It's not a job, it's not a burden, it's what I live for, it's what I get excited about it. I'm a plumber by trade, that's how I pay my bills. But the ministry and talking to kids on the streets and homeless people and just troubled people in general, that's what I live for. That's what my rush comes from, is just being able to help somebody. And I call it a friendship ministry, my wife and I do, because it's about friends. It's about loving on somebody and caring enough and not judging them based on what they have done. I have friends that I'm not proud of it. They're not proud of it. But, I've got friends that are murderers, and they've done time in prison. They did 20 years. They did their time. They got out. I met them and was able to help them get their lives straight and get back into the world and do some amazing things. And, a couple of those guys are dead now. And it's one of those things that I don't regret those relationships at all. I don't regret the investment and the time that we had together, because they're some of my favorite people in the whole world. And you can change, we can all change, but what really makes that different isn't judging people because you haven't been through something, as much as it is understanding what somebody might be going through and understanding the pain and the suffering that somebody may be sitting in. Even if you don't see it, that class clown, he's probably going through some stuff. The bully kids, they're probably going through some stuff, and the only way they know how to hide it is by being a bully or being a class clown and needing all the attention. And that's how they hide their pain. And I know that I wasn't a bully, but I was that kid that always was the life of the party. And until I found Jesus, I didn't know anything else. I didn't know how to hide the pain of, rejection from my dad, and just the abuse and the things that were going on. And I was battling with those things big time, and I didn't know how to hide them. So I got drunk, I got stoned. I wanted to be the drug dealer. I wanted to be the guy that all the girls wanted to dance with and hang out with, and the funny guy at school and all of that. And really, when I gave my life to the Lord, I realized that was just a cover up for my pain. But once I came to the Lord, that cover up was gone. I didn't need it anymore. It didn't have a purpose. It wasn't a tool in my life anymore to live a way that I didn't want to live. So, I want to encourage you guys, if you're one or the other, if you're the one that's living in pain and suffering, write me, message me. I'm not sure how all that stuff works, but get a hold of me. If I'm available, I'll talk. I'll get you hooked up. But I just want to encourage you to hang in there. And again, I'm not telling you what you have to do in your life. I'm just saying, if you got nothing else, try God. And if you're wondering how people get through life, I got 35 years of clean, sober living. I got 35 years of helping kids on the streets all over the country, like I say, and I love it. I live for it. And there's nothing more rewarding than knowing that you care and that somebody cares about you. And there's nothing better. So I just encourage you, man, if you're hurting, call somebody, talk to somebody, try praying, try reaching out to God. That's what it took for me. And he showed up big time for me. And it's not a science, it's not a trick. As much as I can say it, it's not even about the church itself. It's about you taking time to talk to God on your own. So, and when you do that and you start searching for God, the place you find him is in a church. And that's where you learn about it, or the Bible, and you start studying. But, I would just encourage you, and if you're not going through that, but you're having a hard time with somebody around you that's suffering, just be a friend. Just love on those people and understand them, and don't hate them because they're acting out, but learn that acting out is a response to a pain that they're going through, and understand who those people are, and there's always a cause and a purpose for everything. And people aren't generally, vicious and mean and horrible. It's kind of like a dog. When you trap a dog in a corner, they're going to get mean and snarl and growl and snap. And people do the same thing. We're humans. So, I would just hopefully encourage you guys, don't give up. Things are great. Life is good. And you're going to go through hard times. If you're young, you're going to have a million more days where you're going to wonder. And if you're older, you already have that experience, but it doesn't seem to get any easier. What gets easier is understanding that you're going to get through it. You're going to get through it. So hope that encourages you guys. I guess, I don't know if we're just subscribing or liking or what we're doing on this thing, but whatever you guys feel like doing, do it. I'm not a big YouTube, Instagram guy, but I want a message sent out there to the people that I care about, and I want people to know how to help other people. The world's not a very positive place right now, but I want to encourage you guys. So if you can reach out. If you can find somebody to help you, reach out and get that help wherever you can. And I'll see you guys next time.